Welcome to Is It Worth the Slots? In this episode, I'm going to be breaking down Scorpion's Misery Blade stance and Baraka's Blood Lunge. Let's break down Scorpion's Misery Blade stance first. Here's the thing. This is how I use Scorpion. I have to have this move equipped. It's just so much fun, but is it really worth the 2 slots? In my opinion, if it actually worked properly, I would definitely say yes. But the move... Here, let me explain it. So, all the unsafe options with this move works just fine. You do it, the overhead, it lands, all this shit. But his safe option, there's a lot of whiff issues with this move. Like, it'll just whiff completely on some characters. It's a really weird thing. Like something like this, it will just whiff completely, you know. Like, you cannot stagger this move like this. You just can't, because it's like minus 14, and like, you try going to a safe option right there, it would work, but it just, on certain characters, like, this move is completely useless against someone like Katana. It would just whiff completely. And then for certain strings, that works, it just doesn't make any sense to do it. Like for this one, doesn't make any sense. Just do this right here. For this one, yeah, I would say do it. You're completely safe. But at the same time, you do have a safe option right there. Minus 5. That's also minus 5. But where it does shine is canceling off of it. Like, this is, in my opinion, Scorpion's best string. Really good for whiff punishing. You do something like that, you gotta cancel, minus 1, and you can start mixing your opponent's shit up with it. Like, you can start doing, and then step back for pressure, grab game. Like, it's really nice for certain strings. Like, off of this one as well, I like doing, you know, cancels off of that one, and then, you know, from right there I'll go whatever it is I want to do. And for this one, I guess you can go into the low. That's something that you could do, but it's really risky. But there's that. Being able to cancel off of it, it gives Scorpion really good pressure, but at the same time, just hear me out on this one. You know, if I do a cancel like this, that's minus 11. It's kind of iffy. Off of this one, not really worth it. Off the second hit, not really worth it. Off of this one, not really worth it in my opinion. Maybe that could definitely throw your opponent off. You know, off his low. Doesn't make sense, because if you stagger it once, it's already minus 7. Like, this one is minus 2. If I try to cancel it, it just doesn't. So there's just certain strings that it does make sense, and there's also certain strings that it just doesn't make any sense to do cancels off of. But that's up to you, you know, to lab it and understand, you know, how it really works. Now, as for the mix-ups, is it worth it? You know, you could do stuff like this and like really throw your opponent off, but if your opponent guesses right, you're fucking dead, and it doesn't even do that much damage. Now, there's a time and place for it, honestly, with Scorpion. It just depends on a player how you want to use it. If you want to just keep mixing your opponent's shit up, but just know if you guess wrong, you're fucked. But if you want to throw your opponent off every once in a while, yeah, you will start catching motherfuckers with this. So is it worth the 2 slots? I would say if they fix Scorpion's safe options and it just, you know, actually worked, I would definitely say it's worth the 2 slots. But right now, I would say it should be 1 slot. I think it will make Scorpion to a really complete character if it was just 1 slot. But again, if it did work properly, I would say it's worth the 2 slots. That's just my opinion on it. If it worked properly, it would be worth it, but I would definitely want to see this move be worth 1 slot, because it does make Scorpion feel very limited. But if he had the stance and he had something like the teleport cancel and then the buff, man, that would make Scorpion into, man, there's like, if this move, the stance, was 1 slot, it'll make Scorpion to such a fun character, and there just would be so much crazy shit that you can do with him. But unfortunately, this is what we're working with, so that's Scorpion for you. Is it worth it? If it did work, I would say yes. If they made it, just gave it a couple of more buffs, it definitely would be worth 2 slots. But in the long run, it should be definitely 1 slot move. But they want to hold Scorpion back, and I don't know why. He's the face of the fucking game in the cover. Yeah, they want to hold him back. It is what it is. Next, we have Baraka. So here's the thing about Baraka, right? He has this move, right? Which I probably only ran into 2 players that actually use this move correctly. One person that has the blueprint of this move down is Biohazard. I definitely think he uses this move the right way. Now, it's a throw, you know, and then you could add, you know, this mind game to it and this. But what people need to realize is that off of certain strings, like, it's kind of wild. So check this out. You could do something like this, go right into it. Oh, my fault. Or 1, 2, boom. Just like that. Boom. Boom. I believe boom. It's just really a good way of opening your opponent up with Baraka. Not only that, but dude, look at where Baraka's at and look at where your opponent is at. Like, the damage on it is like, it's fine, dude. There's nothing wrong with the damage. I like the damage, you know? But like, after where it leaves you, it's like, holy shit. You're right there in front. You have to guess with Baraka. You're just up close. And then, let's say you guess wrong again. That's another 12% that you're going to lose. So, man, it's a really great tool of opening your opponent up. Is this move worth the 2 slots? I would say yeah, but at the same time, you have other moves like, I want to say, Rambo's Creepy Crawl. And, you know, that shit's worth 1 slot, you know. Not saying that shit should be worth 2 slots. Don't get it fucked up, because that's my boy. No, 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 no. I'm just saying, but for Baraka, how his character is, and his pressure, it's definitely worth the 2 slots, in my opinion. I wish you could add, like, something, like, I don't want to go on a Baraka rant, because I feel like they did Baraka really dirty with the customs. But for the move itself, it's definitely worth the 2 slots. It's really, really good. It really opens your opponent up. And, like, if Baraka will, like, do this and then throw your opponent across the screen, I would be iffy about it. But the fact that he does this shit and it leaves your opponent right in front, that's terrifying. You can literally backdash. After you, like, let's say I'll do something like this, right? Boom. And then, you know, I can go for an overhead, right? Or I can just do that shit again, which is probably what's going to happen. Or, there's so many options off of this move. Like, once you start landing it, like, there's just a lot that your opponent has to think about. And then the fact that I can do this, like, whoa. Whoa, the fact that I can land a down one, standing one, and then, man, that's very, very strong. And it definitely... It's just really good for Baraka. It's just an easier way of opening your opponent up. You don't have to land shit. You can just literally boom do this and just make your opponent, you know, get used to it. And it's really uncomfortable getting used to it, because once your opponent starts expecting it, you know they're expecting it, you can start opening your opponent up with Baraka and do other shit. So there's that. So I definitely think this move is worth 2 slots. It's really good. In my opinion, it's one of the best tick throws in the game. For the simple fact that it does good damage, 12. That's fine with me. And it literally leaves your opponent right there in front of you, and they have to guess. They have to guess just like you have to guess what they have to do. But at the same time, you have really nice options with Baraka. I don't want to make this into a tech video, but absolutely, definitely worth the 2 slots. So what the fuck did we learn here? We got a move that works halfway. If it did work and they gave it a little bit more buffs, it would probably be worth the 2 slots. But right now it should be 1, and I'm talking about Scorpion's Misery Blade. I definitely think it should be 1 slot, but if it worked properly and they gave it a bit of buffs, definitely be worth the 2 slots. And then we have Baraka's Blood Lunge, which in my opinion is definitely worth the 2 slots, even though I definitely want to see NRS buff Baraka and give him just mess around with his slot system, honestly, and give him something else other than just a tick throw. But for the most part, yeah, that's just my opinion. If you don't like it, you can suck my overgrown dick. If you do like it, you can suck my joking. Anyways, I hope you bastards have a good one. Hallelujah, all back. Check you later. Deuces.